Hey guys, I'm all back again. I've been using the Galaxy S23 FE for about 2 weeks now as my primary driver. And today I'm going to help you decide if you should get the FE or just wait until the Galaxy S24 comes out. So if you get the FE today, you can get it for about $500. The S24 is likely going to be priced at $800 for the cheapest model. So right off the bat, you are saving 38%. If you're looking to get the most value out of your phone. With the S24, you're likely going to get the newer chip, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. I know some places might get the Exynos, but regardless, it's going to be a newer chip than the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which at this point is going to be almost 2 years old, believe it or not. And so far, my experience with the S23 FE, it feels pretty fast, efficient, and smooth. Although occasionally I do notice some hiccup, the phone might stutter here and there if I launch a camera or take a photo. It's pretty rare, but it does happen at least once or so a day. It's not going to ruin the smartphone experience by any means, but I didn't experience anything like that with the S23 series. So it's just something to keep in mind. With 38% savings, you are going to have to do with an older chip and likely some random hiccups along the way. And before jumping into some of the things you need to consider before getting the S24, just want to give a quick shout out to my partner Mint Mobile. Currently, they offer a 5G plan for as low as $15 a month, so make sure to check them out, link in the description below. Next thing to consider is with the Galaxy S24, you're likely going to have a better battery life. With the S23 FE, so far I get about 10 to 13 hours on a normal day. With the S24, with the newer chip, I expect you're going to see at least 14 to 17 hours battery life on average for the base model. Of course, I need to test that in order to validate that, but just year over year, it doesn't really change that much. With the FE, you're actually getting a bigger screen, 6.4 inches compared to we're likely looking at 6.2 for the S24 base model. So it's personal preference here, depends if you want a bigger phone or a smaller phone. I actually would prefer 6.3 or 6.2. With the FE, I do find that when typing with one hand, I have to stretch my finger all the way across, and it can be challenging sometimes. It leads to accidental touches, and then I end up having to need to use two hands to type in some cases. But in general, bigger phones tend to cost more, so it's up to you if you are a big phone person or a small phone person. With S24, you're likely going to get some new color choices. This may be a moot point depending on how you feel about phone colors. Some people just slap a case on it, so it doesn't really matter. But every year, there's usually some new color options out there. And year to year, smartphones don't really change that much just in terms of performances anymore. I still have my Galaxy S20. And when I use the S23, it doesn't feel life-changing by any means. Scrolling around may be a little bit faster, but it is not really a major update despite it being a 3-year-old chip. I guess close to 4 years at this point. But just keep in mind, there's always a new phone around the corner, so if you keep waiting, there's always going to be something else that comes out that is newer and greater. So you really have to decide if you want to pay $800 plus taxes for the latest and greatest, or you can settle for a slightly older chip and a phone that just released in October, so it's not an old phone by any means. And then you can save yourself an extra $300. Maybe go buy a Nintendo Switch instead. The decision is really up to you, but you already have a new smartphone, well, not necessarily new, but you have a phone over the last 3 years or so, you likely don't really need to upgrade to a new phone. Software support is getting longer. Newer phones these days, you see anywhere from 4, 5, or even 7 years now with the Pixel series. So everyone loves a new phone. There's always going to be a new phone. Doesn't mean you need to get every single new phone that come out. Unless you want to, by all means do it, but that's not feasible for most people. So you kind of have to determine if you're happy with your current phone. Is it lagging? If it's working just fine, then you're not going to need the latest and greatest. If you're always chasing the newest technology, it's going to cost a lot of money and you have unlimited income and always willing to try new things, go for it. If not, you need to determine value and if you're happy with your current phone or not. With the FE, it feels pretty comfortable and familiar. When I use the FE, it feels pretty much exactly the same as my Galaxy S20, S21, S22, S23. They all feel exactly the same just in terms of scrolling around, the processing, the speed. It doesn't really feel that much different. But when I switch over to the A54, you can tell that it is significantly slower. It is at least half a second slower between every swipe, so I would not recommend the A54 to anyone. So right now you can get the A54 for about $350 on Amazon, but if you look at the S21 Ultra, you can get a renewed one for $380. So I would rather get that if you're looking for a real bargain. But at this point, if you already waited this far, you might as well just wait another month just to see what the Galaxy S24 has to offer. By then, the FE might be discounted even further. I have seen it as low as $400, so that's half the price of the base model, and you can make your decision from there. Alright guys, hope you guys found this video to be helpful. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover. Remember to like and subscribe. Please check out my 1-week review of the S23 FE if you haven't already. My thoughts haven't really changed that much with this phone. I think it's a great value for the price. There are some hiccups and stutter that I started to experience that I did not mention in my 1-week review, but this doesn't take away from the experience of the phone by any means. It's still pretty fast, smooth, and efficient, and overall, I'm pretty happy with it for the price. Still debating to try a new phone or just wait it out until the S24 come out personally before I switch, because I always want to test out new phones, but you don't necessarily need to do that. Alright guys, see you guys in the next video. Remember to like and subscribe, and appreciate the time as always.